Hi everyone, my name is Merval. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If this is your first time finding me, make sure to hit that subscribe button and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so when I drop a video like this, you get notified. Without further ado, let's go straight to today's video. Today's video, guys, the title says it all. In today's video, I want to talk about 5 reasons why most Congolese in the diaspora do not succeed in business when they go back in the country. All right, reason number 1, lack of trustworthy people to assist you in building your business. As easy as this may sound, not many people out there are reliable enough to trust and do business with them, especially most of us in the diaspora that do not have enough vacation time to go home and spend more time and do their stuff or build a business and come back here when everything is complete. Most of us go there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, some of us a month, whatever the case may be. Not many people not have enough time to go back home and sit there and watch their business getting built. A lot of the times people will travel down there, they start the process, but they still have to somehow confide someone and trust them to run things smoothly. So when they come back, either they return to their job or they return to their business or whatever they do back in the diaspora and keep the business going and keep the business running. If you do not associate yourself with trustworthy people, it's going to make it much more difficult for you to succeed in doing business in the Congo. Because again, finding trustworthy people, it's not easy. It's not only in Africa or in the Congo, but in so many parts of the world nowadays, it's very difficult to actually find reliable people you can trust and do business with. In order for you to make sure that you succeed, it is very important that you spend the time associating yourself with people that are trustworthy, someone that you can trust with certain amount of money and not even being worried about anything. You can go to bed, sleep easily, and wake up the next morning because you know that the money you have spent will do exactly what it is intended to do. But if you have to go to bed and being worried with your partners, that is a sign right there that you shouldn't be partners with them in the first place. That is why it is so crucial that you find people that's going to help you build your business and become successful. If it means to take 1 to even 3 years to finding that one trustworthy individual, it's worth your time than just jumping into something and expecting everything is going to be fine, not even knowing the intention of the person you are intending to do business with. At the end of the day, if you lose, you're the one that's going to start all the way from scratch again. So nobody wants to go through that. In order for you to run a successful business in the Congo specifically, you must associate yourself with trustworthy people. Now, this is going to lead us to number 2. Insufficient financial capacity to pursue the plan to completion. Listen, so many times I've seen people or I've heard stories that, oh, I started this, but then halfway through, I realized that I didn't have enough money to get this done, and I'm starting to have more doubts because I don't even know if this is going to work out. So number 1, in order to make money, you have to spend money. A lot of people, they will start a project without even, calculating how much money they will need to complete the projects because they're so excited and they want to do business, which is a good thing. But at the same time, you also have to know your limitations. So a lot of people, they get so excited and they just go ahead with the plan, not knowing how much money it's going to cost them. They start building a business and halfway through, they can't even, follow through with the projects because the financial capacity is not there to make it possible for the business to be implemented, right? So, how many of you have seen, especially those of you that travel to Kinshasa a lot, how many of you have seen like real estate business or properties that are left halfway, that are left incomplete because the owner wanted to build a massive apartment complex with so many units in it, but they didn't realize like how much money they would have needed so that the plan is fully complete. But then halfway through, they realize how much money needs to go into it, and they look around. They've already spent so much money, and there is no way you can go back from it. Now the property is left incomplete to a stage where nobody can move in, so you can at least start making money back and building slowly by slowly until the project it is complete. And now you want to put the house on the market. Nobody want to purchase it. It's not the type of architecture they would want to inherit from the previous owner. And those are one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people nowadays, especially in the Congo, have been making, and when they're trying to build something for themselves. And it is very important to always know your limitations. If you know how much money you can afford to build a business, it is going to make it possible for you to be successful. Success doesn't always mean dreaming big, it's great, but because you're dreaming big, it doesn't mean you have to do something that's going to cost enormous amount of money. It is very important to have big dreams, but at the same time, start small and grow from there. Don't just get into something no matter how much money it's going to cost and go and say, oh, God is with me. God may be with you because we are Christian, but it doesn't mean because you broke, you're going to afford it just because you're a Christian. That's not how it works. You need to know your limitation. Let's just give you a quick example, right? Personally, I know, okay, if somebody give me a plan that's going to cost me about $20,000 to complete it, and I look at my bank account, I have $10,000 and I also have a job. Right there, I might have a shot because the way I know how I get my paycheck, I'm like, all right, if I spend this $10,000 up front, the other half of the $10,000 I can come up with it in a span of 6 months or even 7 months. From there, you have a shot that you can make it, you can make it work. But if you have a project that's going to cost you $100,000, but you only have like $5,000, how are you going to finance it? All right. And you don't even make $50,000 a year. You know how long it's going to take you to complete the projects. That's why it's very important that when you're dreaming big, start small, right? You start something small, at least you start making money from it. That's going to encourage you to start a second project. While you already have the projects you've already worked on, that's already bringing money in. And that's going to also continue to help you, implement, the bigger projects that you have so that tomorrow you can become successful. So those are the things that you should keep in mind when you're doing business in the Congo or particularly in Africa. Now we're going to move on to number 3. Greediness. It is a killer when you are trying to be successful in doing business. It may work here in the West because all the insurance company or all the government and the politics, they're always out there protecting the wealth, protecting the rich, right? But that's definitely not how it works in the Congo, especially if you do not have some type of connection with the government or some, or powerful politicians, right? You're just an independent who have money and who care about the country so much and they want to bring more businesses in the country, right? I've seen a lot of people who became successful, but then they start treating their employee like crap, okay? Or people that have worked for them or people that help them succeed, they not really doing anything to compensate them the way they deserve so that they could also have something for themselves or at least motivate them enough to continue to collaborate with you and bring you more successful plans to continue to remain successful. This is the part where a lot of people the failure starts because you may be successful at first, but then you also have to think of it this way. The people that helped you, they deserve a portion of the profits you're making in order for them to continue to maintain the positive attitude and also wish you well, and your business will do great. Because if you're making all this money and you employing people and paying them nearly enough to sustain themselves and actually make something for themselves, guess what this is going to create, right? People are going to feel underpaid, and then eventually they will start stealing from the company. When they start stealing from the business, what happens? The business starts to do poorly. And who's going to be the victim at this point? The owner. You don't want that to come back to you. You don't want that to come back on you. That's why it's very, very necessary to treat your people right and make sure that if with their help you were able to become successful, grow together with them. It's going to help you build a better team so that you can continue to succeed and build even way more businesses, and your plan will grow much bigger. People get greedy because they see all the success, and then they become more condescending towards the people that are working for them. Oh, it's my own money. I came up with this. You know what I mean? I was the one that was financing everything. You may be financing to build a business, but you also have to keep in mind that if one person was helpful in giving an idea which ended up succeeding or helping out succeed, it means that their intellectual property deserve an award. And the best way you reward them is by either paying them good or at least paying them enough money to make them feel wanted, to make them feel more appreciated. The last thing you want is that you start making money and then treat your employee like crap. What they're gonna do, they're gonna turn around and say like, this guy think we're stupid. He wants to underpay us and expects us to put in more work for him. What they're gonna start doing now is that start taking equipments that belongs to the business back to back home, or they're gonna start taking a lot of valuable stuff and go sell it in a black market so that they can have something on the side because they're making nearly enough, and that's gonna hurt your business. That's why, brothers and sisters, you have to put this in your mind. Whenever you're becoming successful in doing business in the country, it is also very important to share the wealth with the people that are helping you to build your business and helping you become successful. That's just how it works. If you want to make more money, you have to spend more money. How do you do that? Treat your employee right and treat the people that helped you build your business with respect, and also make sure that they get what they deserve. Something you got to keep in mind. Now this is going to lead us to number 4. Number 4 actually is going to be unwillingness to spend more money in order to make more profits. That kind of like went along with the last points that I just made on step number 3, right? Think of it this way. If you're trying to build a business and you have certain budget, you should not be going over the budgets, obviously. But there's another thing you also need to understand is that as you are building your business, it is so crucial that you spend money in order for you to start making profits. The better example, you guys been watching my channel for a while to know that a lot of you guys have been watching my channel for a while, enough to know that I'm building a pig barn, right? Technically, I'm not making any money yet from it. Not yet. But it's still in a building process. But since I have faith and I know how much money could be made by farming, all I have to do is continue to spend money, because there are people who wants to farm. They start with the animal, but they do not have the structure to keep them safe. They do not have the money to pay for the vaccines. They do not have the money to pay for the feeds. The animal cannot grow properly if you're not taking good care of them. Those are the things that's failing a lot of people. But if you have the money, keep doing that. Don't just expect to start making profits right away as soon as you start a business. That's why it's very important to give it time, to also make sure that the plan that you have created for yourself, it is being approved by the people who know that particular sector that you are investing in, and also do your own proper research to see how many people have been successful in doing exactly what you're doing. That is going to help you build confidence and motivation in doing so. So if you want to be successful, it is very, very imperative to spend more so you can make more as well. But if you want to be one of those guys that only want to spend $100 but then make a $10,000, sister, brother, unfortunately, that is not how it works. You have to put more money towards your investment in order for you to start making the same amount of profit. And here, I'm not talking about positive and negatives or risk of businesses, but generally speaking, if whatever you were doing, in this case, I'm going to assume that whatever it is that you are planning on getting into, it is an area that you master, it is an area that you know well, and chances are you're going to succeed because you already know the tricks in how to succeed in this particular business. That's why I'm not trying to get into like the negatives or the risk or anything like that. In this case, we're going to assume that you're going to spend more money and make more money from it. Don't expect to spend less and make way more. That's not how it works. Some people get lucky, but not everyone. It's not like a lottery game. You walk into a grocery store, buy a $5 lottery ticket, and then win 10 or 100 million. That is not a lottery. You need to have a plan. And in order to have a plan, you must really take your time you must really do your due diligence, doing more research to make sure that whatever it is that you're going to be doing is going to work and is going to succeed. Success doesn't just come overnight. You need to be patient. You must be willing to spend more money in order for you to make more money as well. That's just how it works. And that's going to lead us to number 5 and the last one, which is family members. If you guys remember, I put out a video where I talked about how family members can be bad business partners, and I can't focus on this enough. Listen to me carefully. A lot of us, especially from Africa that are here in the diaspora, no matter what your situation can be, all right? Most of us have the tendency to send back home to help the family or to send back home money, right? To build business and then associate their family members because they're trying to keep it in the family. But unfortunately, family members have never been good business partners. Trust me. It is very different when your brother, let's just say your brother is running your business and, somehow he gets himself involved into something that he needs money for, right? And then he looks around, the money he makes from whatever you pay him monthly, it's never gonna cover the cost of whatever it is that he wants. But then he sees the money keeps coming in. Guess what he's gonna do? I can just take a couple $1,000s and use it because this is my brother and he ain't gonna do nothing to me. I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna promise that I'm gonna, reimburse the money, and it's all gonna be good. But unfortunately, that's not how a business works. You have to rely on your salary and expect, right, that if you can afford something, you can always save up for a certain period of time, and then you go ahead with your plan or your projects or whatever you got going on. If you get your auntie up in there, auntie may do something and say, well, that is my nephew right there. There isn't really nothing he or she can do, that will hurt me. But there's one thing though. The fact that they're getting into the way is going to hurt your business and you're going to be the loser. And if you keep giving them a pass, eventually your business will crumble, and that's the beginning of the failure. However, if you hire people that are not family related chances are they're going to take the business a lot more serious because that's their bread and butter. If they don't come to work, they're not getting paid. But your auntie or your uncle, your brother may wake up one morning and feeling a little woozy or it doesn't really feel well, or they're just not sick at all, but they just don't feel like showing up at work. They're gonna call off, then still expects to make the same amount of money as everybody else, or probably more. By an employee, someone that who went through a job interview, someone that brought their resume to prove that they're competent enough to do the job. They're gonna care about the job a lot more because that's the only way that their bills get paid, right? So it is one thing that you should keep in mind when you're doing business in the Congo. Do not associate family members with business. Don't ever associate your family in doing business. And we also have to remember, in most cases, there are always exceptions. There are always tons of exceptions out there. But it is very important to try to stay far away from the family as much as possible, especially if you are doing business in the Congo. All right, guys, that's it. I appreciate you tuning in. I hope this video was helpful to some of you that are trying to be successful in doing business in the Congo. If you like the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so when I release videos like this, you guys get notified. Until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Peace.